Hey everyone, let's talk about something incredibly important that could change your financial future forever. What if I told you your money, those hard earned dollars in your bank account, are like a melting ice cube? Most people think their money is safe, secure, no problems, right? Well, that's really not the case. And I've been talking a lot about stablecoins recently, and there's a huge reason why. After studying currency and currency life cycles as they make these massive transitions, I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that these stablecoins will be used to usher in hyperinflation. Yes, you heard me right, hyperinflation. It's not a possibility, it's a plan in motion. The Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City recently put out a report. It's truly fascinating how they chose to describe dollars, making them sound as appealing and safe as a shining gold coin, just like how cryptocurrencies are often presented. Why do they do that? Because they want you to feel safe. They want you to believe everything is secure. But the reality is, folks, it is not safe. We're facing a huge problem. Foreign buyers are turning away from buying our government bonds. This isn't just a U.S. issue. It's a global crisis because these bonds are the very foundation of our entire financial system. Think about it. The market used to operate smoothly, but after about 2008, things changed dramatically. They started moving away from the traditional buyers of government bonds, like big banks and foreign governments, and they had to get incredibly creative. This isn't something that's just popped up. It's been a slow, deliberate transition. This shift in who's buying our government debt is one of the key reasons why stablecoins are becoming so incredibly important and so incredibly dangerous. We've gone from long-term stable buyers to shorter and shorter term players. By the end of 2024, the stablecoin market is expected to be about $125 billion. Keep that number in your head because they're anticipating unbelievable growth. Here's the kicker. While stablecoins could boost demand for government debt, they'll only do it by reducing demand for other assets. And what are those other assets? Your bank deposits, among others. Think about it. Wall Street, with big names like Jamie Dimon, initially called stablecoins awful, saying they wouldn't touch them. But then almost overnight, we saw this massive rush into the stablecoin markets with these same banks taking them over. This huge reversal risks wiping out a century of consumer financial protections. What's the backbone of your bank account? Your deposit. And stablecoins aren't insured by the FDIC. No, let's be real. Even the FDIC itself only holds barely 1 penny for every dollar of insured deposits, let alone the uninsured ones. But the core concern here is where your money's going. It's moving from your traditional bank accounts into stablecoins. This means less money for banks to lend out into the economy. That's deflationary, isn't it? And how many ways are there to fight deflation? Only one. They create inflation. And that, my friends, leads directly to hyperinflation. This situation is eerily similar to a dark chapter in American financial history, the wildcat times of the late 1800s. I stumbled upon an old article from 1893 that vividly described those days as a time when men went to bed rich and woke up penniless. Is that what's going to happen now? Absolutely 100% yes, just as it has happened thousands of times before throughout history. During those wildcat days, the financial affairs of the whole country were completely disturbed by reckless speculation. How do you create a mint? You create wild and reckless speculation. Back then, banks, often in remote areas, created their own money, shockingly, inflating the monetary system. They loaned that inflated money out, fueling all that speculation. We're seeing a repeat of history here, but with a new twist. Stablecoins are essentially a free pass for big corporations, not just banks, but giants like Amazon and Walmart, to issue their own money. So, how does this benefit the U.S. government? Well, these stablecoins in this country are required to be backed one-to-one with dollars. This creates an artificial demand, a manufactured market for dollars and for government debt. But that money has to come from somewhere, and it's coming directly from the traditional banking sector, which is why they initially fought against it. Please make no mistake about it. When President Trump signed what's called the Genius Act, he fundamentally changed the global monetary system. This isn't something we're waiting for. It's already in place. And now they're writing all the rules. But guess who's writing them? The very players, the foxes in the henhouse, who will benefit the most. The president's working group report actually directs the financial regulators to create safe harbors and exemptions. Do you know what that means for you? It means that when they mess up, when things go south, there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Remember 2008? What happened then was disgusting, despicable, horrendous. It destroyed lives, and many people still haven't recovered. But nobody went to jail. Why? Because as awful as it wasn't illegal. They're doing it again, putting all this new language into place, legalizing this incredibly risky and speculative behavior. In fact, if your bank decides not to give you your money back, they have every right to do that. It's not really your money. You loaned it to them. It's theirs. And with these safe harbors, you will have no recourse. This is like the Wild West, but specifically tailored to today's digital speculative activities. They're also proposing an innovation exemption to allow for brand new business models. And when those new models fail, and they will, there will be nothing you can do about it. This isn't something in the distant future. These things are already unfolding. They are happening right now. We have developed these safe harbors and exemptions so that you, the public, have no recourse. They can do anything they want. They can crash the entire system, they can hyperinflate the entire system, and all the wealth you've painstakingly built can simply evaporate. Do you understand how critical this is? I really hope you do, because it's happening right now. We're flying blind, folks. The information we're getting from the government and central banks is manipulated. When they don't like how the data looks, they don't change their behavior, they change the formulas. So the information you're supposed to believe is worse than ever. The reality is our currency has virtually no purchasing power left, and we are transitioning, or resetting, if you will, into a completely new system. We can sit back and let them do whatever they want, or we can take a stand. This is the absolute best opportunity I've ever seen to take our power back. This means taking our community, our shared understanding, to a global level so that we can get redeemable, sound money back into the system again. If we don't do this, the future for our children and our grandchildren is not one that I personally want to pass down. I believe it's disgusting that I had more choices and more opportunities than my own grandchildren have. We have to reverse that. That's why we fight so hard and become part of the sound money movement. It's the best shot we have. There's no more important reason to do it. It's also why central banks around the world have been quietly accumulating gold. Gold is diversified because it has the broadest base of functionality and the broadest base of demand. The way we do this is by converting our paper money, our fiat currency, into physical gold and silver. This is what we call sound money. It's the only financial instrument that runs no counterparty risk. Stablecoins? They absolutely have counterparty risk. They are talking about taking the money you have in your savings and checking accounts and converting them into stable coins. Whether that's at a big bank like JP Morgan or a retailer like Walmart, it doesn't really matter. This takes money out of the fractional reserve system. When we had power in the past and didn't like what governments were doing, we pulled gold from the system, and that's how we asserted our power. They're moving all this money creation from the traditional system to this new stablecoin system, which means less money for banks to lend into the economy. That's highly deflationary. So how do you fight deflation? You create inflation. And that, my friends, is hyperinflation. Make no mistake, it has already begun. It's legalized, and they are just rushing to fine-tune and finish everything off. We need to be rushing even faster to lay in our sound money strategy. This is why it's critically important to get your sound money strategy in place. Surround yourself with a local community to build security in food, water, energy, and create opportunities for barterability, wealth preservation, and shelter. Get it done. Don't wait. These things are already unfolding. They are happening right now. We have the power. There are 8 billion people on this planet. There's so many more of us than there are of the 1%. There's 99% of us and 1% of them. We can make a positive difference for a lot of people. Let's do that. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, please be safe out there. If you found this information valuable, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss another crucial update. Let's change the world together.